Hi Flosstube, remember how I said last time I see you in 2 to 3 weeks? Well, it's been 6 months. Yeah, life extremely got in the way, but in all of the good ways actually. A little bit of a life update before I get into the stitching to a little bit explain why I've been absent for so long. I've seen some people ask me when I'm gonna make a new video again, and I thought today was as good a day as any, so therefore here I am. I made my last video on the 31st of October 2020, right when Germany went into the second lockdown. We are still in the second lockdown 6 months later, and still we haven't gone back to normal. It's been an insanely long lockdown, but for me quite a few things have changed. On the 5th of November I actually started my own business. So I went from working 12 to 15 hours a week to running my own business where I work 6 to 7 days a week. So I've had to say goodbye to a lot of my stitching time, but I am now a CEO of my own company, which is pretty darn exciting. It has nothing to do with stitching. I started a digital slash would you say it? I started like an Instagram store with pickup possibilities in houseplants. So I sell houseplants. I sell basically anything that's green and planty for your living room. And I've been doing crazy good. I've had to work, like I said, 6 to 7 days a week to keep up with the demand. I am mostly doing my selling or contact with my customers over Instagram, and I offer them pickup and delivery in the Cologne area where I live. So yeah, that's been really great. I actually really love it, but since a couple weeks I've made my Sundays sacred. I stopped taking customer appointments on Sundays, and on Sunday is now my holy grail day off, and I get to stitch as much as I want, and I usually do. I try to get about 5 or 6 hours of stitching in on a Sunday, because I still also have to clean the house, which I usually don't get to during the week. So all good things. I've been finally been able to get some nice income. I'm starting to grow my business. It's all going really good. But like I said, it's been eating away at my stitching time. I have Sundays and maybe then a couple times a week in the evening, a couple hours, but that's basically it. So basically after my last video, I threw my 5-hour rotation out the window, and I just started stitching on less projects. So first, I guess I will get into the projects that I still did stitch on for 5 hours each time, to sort of catch you up there, which is basically only like 2 projects, and both are new starts. I was gonna also take out the projects that I mentioned the last time at the end, but I thought they will come up at some point. But I will show you 2 new starts that I had since then that were still sort of in the 5-hour rotation. And the first one is a project by Elizabeth Almond from Blackwork Journey, and it is what's it called? Save the Stitches. And I am doing Save the Stitches on 32 count gray Lugana, and I'm doing a rainbow Save the Stitches. So I started with a very light pink and then a darker pink, and it's gonna go all the colors of the rainbow. Each row has a different color. As you can tell, I didn't come very far, but there's a start. And this fabric is actually massive. Yes, it's gonna be enormous, but it's gonna be wonderful. And the other projects that I still started in when I was still doing my 5-hour rotation is Sadie the Spring Witch from Brooks Books. I'm trying to fish out the part where I actually stitch on something. Oh boy, oh boy. It's going all through each other, yes. Sadie the Spring Witch, which is done on 14 count perforated paper. And I'm just gonna, so like I was telling you, Sadie the Spring Witch by Brooks Books. She's done on 14 count perforated paper. And I actually did come pretty far. Oh wait, I need a paper. I forgot how to do this, guys. It's been 6 months. And I forgot how to do this, apparently. Yes. And this is how far I got. I actually came pretty far. I did all of her hair, I did her face, her arm, and I started on her skirt. And the stitching is really not the most intricate part of this. It's the embellishment. It's the beading, it's the krennic. I have everything for her. So once I get to her, it's basically not so much of an effort anymore, but that's the crux. When do I get to her? So yeah, that's basically still some of the things I did in 2020. And one more thing. I actually also did finish Lizzie Kate Autumn. And this was actually finished within that 5-hour rotation. So Lizzie Kate Autumn is finished, and I have only winter to do from all of the seasons, which is pretty darn exciting. Almost done with this series. And I'm still looking for a frame for spring and for autumn. Summer's the only one that's framed so far. So yeah, that was everything I did in 2020. Still, it's like super sad in the last 2 months. I barely got time to stitch. But then 2021 hit and I even got less time to stitch. But I did finish some things this year, 4 projects so far. I'm pretty sure there's a 5th one, but I cannot find it. And I don't know why I cannot find it, but it's gone. In the last video, I also talked my grand plans to do 365 days of Mill Hill Santas or Santas. Yeah, that crashed and burned pretty fast. Basically because I don't have time to stitch every day. Like I said, I'm lucky if I get in like three nights a week and Sunday. So yeah, that's sad. But I did manage to finish the Santa that I was talking about last time, which is Teton Santa, I don't know how to pronounce this. And I had the whole mix up with the skin on the animal. I'm still not sure what this is. But I didn't frog it and I think it looks okay. I think it looks fine actually, no one knows. So I left it just the way it is. I wasn't gonna frog the wrong color, and I think it's good. So he hangs with my other Santas. I haven't started a Mill Hill Santa since, which is kind of sad. But this is also something I finished this year. Finish number 2 this year was a small ornament from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, which is called Christmas Morning Goodies. I changed 2 colors around. The sock was supposed to be pink and the flowers were supposed to be green, and I just changed the colors around because I thought it looked better like this. So this was actually not as quick as I thought it was going to be. It actually took me, I guess, 2 full weeks of stitching before I had this finished, but I'm really happy with the result. This is like stitched on a leftover piece that I had from another project. This is hand-dyed fabric, but I'm seriously not sure which one. As you can maybe tell, I do not have everything as organized as I used to have it because I'm now just trying to go with the flow on whatever I have some stitching time. So 5-hour rotation is no longer happening. Then finish number 3, which I only finished like a couple weeks ago, is this Mill Hill Dragonfly, which was actually really fun to stitch, and this I actually got done in a couple nights. It's the green one. I already did stitch an orange one at some point, And I'm pretty sure I will stitch the other ones when I get my hands on them. It's just pretty greens and silvers. It was done fairly quickly. I'm really happy with how it's looking so far, I was gonna say, because it's finished, but I still have to do the backing, and I would do a hanger that I can hang it up. And then the final finish I have to show you for this year, and this was actually finished last week or the week before, so this is my most recent finish. And I kid you not, all the time this whole morning it was overcast, and the moment I started filming it gets sunny, and this is why it washes up my projects and I have to hold it so close to the camera. I'm sorry. I am taking this time to film this video even though it's not perfect. And this is, like I said, my latest finish, and this is actually a project that I started in, or that I wanted to start in my last video. And I actually started this on the day and night of the presidential election. And I was stitching on this when I saw the results come in. I stayed up until 4:30 that night, German time, to try to get as much of the results as possible. But obviously I missed the bulk of it because the bulk only came in the morning, or German time in the morning. I was convinced that I was gonna stitch this in this one night, and no, I did not. Like I said, I finished this only like 2 weeks ago, and granted I didn't work on it the whole time. I worked on this on election day, in US election day, and I picked it up about 3 weeks ago, and then in a week finished it off. The back stitching and the trunks were quite cumbersome, but once I got going it was fine. And I actually really liked how this turned out. I'm a great big fan of owls, and there's actually a couple more that are similar scenes with the trees, and then it's some other animal, and I have the feeling that they're seasonal. So this would be the autumn one, and I'm pretty sure I've seen a summer, spring, Christmas and winter one. So I would love to stitch all 5. Sadly enough, those were the 4 finishes this year. 4 months in, 4 finishes, and this is the biggest finish that I have, and it's really sad. Yeah, like I said, not a lot of stitching done, but I did stitch, and I've been stitching on 4 totally new projects that you have, 3 totally new projects, and 1 project you've already seen. And the first one is the project that you've already seen, but I have come quite a lot further since then. So basically I started the year off with the idea that I would only work on 1 project until I hit its goal. So I made a list of 20 projects I was gonna finish in 2021, and I would work on them just on this 1 project until I either hit my goal or finished it. Like I said, I have so little stitching time that this is not happening, but I did actually get quite some work done on this one before I started rotating a little bit more again. And this is Capricorn by Josephine Wall, charted by Michelle Sayeta from Heaven and Earth Designs. And I got quite a lot further than just the blob of pinks and purples that you saw last time. I finished page 1, and I'm actually a good way through page 2. The stars are really starting to take shape. This is the star sign in the sky, and here this is actually already the horn from the Capricorn. Still working on a lot of purples and blues, but I've also been doing some yellows, and I've actually enjoyed stitching on this so incredibly much. So it's not because I don't like working on it that I've put it down, but I have just decided to go a little bit more with the flow and pick things up that I want to stitch on, or I try, instead of hours, I try to complete portions, because usually when I pick this up I stitch 1,000 stitches and then I put it back away again. And I've been doing this with the other 3 projects that I've been working on too. Like, I just pick a goal, work until I finish that goal, and then put them away. This is basically the only way, because the hours can sometimes take a very long time because of the limited stitching time. So the other 3 I've been working on, and maybe you sense a theme, because I've sort of picked like a head design this year, head designer, where I'm wanting to stitch a lot of projects from. And this is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I've already, like I said, stitched this from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And the 2 next projects are also from the Frosted Pumpkin. And I don't think they're going to be the last ones this year that I stitch from them. So this is 12 Days of Christmas Sampler. And this is a good example of how I give myself little goals. So the very first time that I picked this up, I said I was just gonna stitch the top border, which I did. And the second time I just stitched block number 1, which I did. And the third time I picked it up, I was gonna stitch the number 2 and left border, which I did. So this is actually really rewarding for me. It's getting the most out of my stitching time, and I can show you a little bit of a close-up. So number 1 and 2, they're actually very, very quick. I've been stitching them with the Cult for DMC, and the only one that's a variegated thread is the numbers. This is actually a thread that I still had, so I decided to use this. And this is being stitched on a Crafty Kitten or a Jottery's design fabric. I just took it out of the bag now. Yes. This is a Jottery Designs June 2019 rainbow piece and green. And it's actually, no, it's a 32 count. So yeah, another Frosted Pumpkin piece, and it's really pretty and I really like it. And the third Frosted Pumpkin piece that I'm working on this year is the 2021 Stitch Along, the Cozy Club, the Cozy Cafe Club. And I just finished clue number 2 on the last day of April, because this Stitch Along only started in March. So on the 25th of March, the first part came out, which I instantly stitched. And the second part came out on the 25th of April, which I also instantly stitched. So this is what it looks right, the tag. This is what it looks like right now. I did everything except the beading. And I don't even know if I'm gonna do the beading. I will see at the end if I decide to do so. So far there's a adorable raspberry mocha with a panda. And the second drink is a matcha latte, I guess that it is. I have to admit, I don't drink coffee, but I thought this was gonna be adorable anyway. I really love the majority of the Frosted Pumpkin stuff. So yeah, and I'm stitching this on 32 count rosewood from Pictureless Plus. And I'm gonna be using probably half the fabric, so I have the other half to stitch something else. I'm sorry guys for this extreme washing out all the time. Like I said, was perfectly good until I started filming. And the fourth project that I've been sort of working on a rotation basis is a Christmas gift. It was supposed to be my Advent gift for Christmas or Advent 2020. In the end, my dad ordered this for me in September 2020, and the package arrived early February. It really took forever. And I'm talking about a kit from European Cross Stitch Company, and it's my very first chatelaine, and I'm beyond excited to have one finally. I've been eyeing their kits for a while, and the very first time I heard about Chatelaine, I decided to start kitting up one myself, and I managed to get like 3 threads because it was getting so expensive and I was unwilling to spend so much money on silks. But my dad asked me what I wanted to have for Christmas or for Advent, and instead of getting a Body Shop package or whatever, I decided to ask for this as my Advent gift. Unfortunately, I didn't get to unwrap it as an Advent gift. I didn't get an Advent-like gift at all. I got it in early February, but still, I'm so happy with it nonetheless. So, yeah, this is terrible. I'm so sorry. I have to come so close for you to be able to see it. There are some lovely colors, blues and purples and pinks. This washes out so much. I don't know where to show you guys this. Maybe I'm gonna move like slightly to the right. Okay, I should have done this from the beginning. You can also tell this is some of my merchandise. This is some olive trees, and I have some philodendron pink princesses waiting to be big enough to sell, and the majority is in my other extra room here. And this is my little fluff boy. He's like lying here. He had a very busy day yesterday. He turned 10, and we actually held him a birthday party because this is what you do in COVID times when you don't have anything else to do. So my boyfriend baked him a cake, which he didn't seem to like so much, but good, he ate a piece of it. Well, it was a cat cake, so there was no artificial anything in there. It was just salmon and some egg and some cheese. So he didn't seem to like it so much, though. He preferred just the salmon. And we invited our little upstairs neighbor boy. He's 1.5, and he is obsessed with our cat. And he came by, and we had some adult human cake, and just had like a little bit of a special day to have like a little bit of interaction and social life with other people. Like I said, I wanted to show you. I guess this is way better. Oh my god, I should have done this before. This is my European cross stitch kit for Spring Knot Garden, and I've decided this to be my first project because I didn't want to go overboard the very first time, because this was actually one of the more affordable kits. This, I guess, came in at $140-ish, which is still an insane amount of money to spend on cross stitching, but it is better than some of the $300 kits that are out there. So this was kind of doable for the Advent gift. I gotta tell you, like, my dad gave us an Advent gift, and we didn't do further Christmas gifts. That was it. Like I said, the kit, and it's beautiful, and all the threads are so gorgeous and delicious to stitch with. I'm really so happy, and it's sparkly and it's amazing. The only thing that sort of went wrong is that I got the beads, the bead pack for Summer Knot Garden. But since then I've contacted Cindy, and she graciously sent me the correct Spring Knot Garden beads. They are currently at my dad's, and I will get them tomorrow, which is, I don't need them right now, but still, she sent them super fast to me. And then without further ado, how far did I come? And this is where I am right now. I've finished the whole inner part minus the beading. I will do all the beading at the end. And I stitched the first of the 4 flower portions. Those get repeated on every side except that the flower is a different color every time. So that's good. And I've had no trouble trying to keep memorized what's top and bottom, because I decided to use the one edge with the orange as my top, so that I always know what the top side is. And I'm so excited, and it's so much fun to stitch on. And for example, I also did this with goals. The first time I decided to just stitch the center, and the second time I decided to just stitch this one flower. And I'm gonna do this for the other flowers. So the next time we'll do this, that one, and that one. And then I will see what further goals I set on this piece. So basically my year is gonna be stitch on my chatelaine, stitch on my Capricorn piece. So those are two very big projects. And then, oh, oops, I need this. And the rest is gonna be frosted pumpkin stitchery designs. There's one exception, of course, because there's always one exception. Because right now it's the 2nd of May, so I've decided this year to participate in Stitch Mania. And I'm actually not doing new starts because that would drive me insane since I have little time to stitch and I haven't had finishes in forever. I have decided to do Wip-Mania, so I picked out 15 projects out of this massive box. This is a whole box of all of my whips, and I guess I have about 50 or 60, which is getting too much. But I picked 15. Well, I didn't pick them. My boyfriend picked them because I couldn't pick. He just picked random ones. And I'm gonna work on a piece, a new piece every day for at least the first 15 days. I have to do a minimum of 30 minutes and sort of a max of 2 hours. And after the 2 hours on this piece are finished, I can pick up whatever other project I want. So that can either be one of the 4 pieces that I have in the rotation for the year 2021, or it can be any of the Stitch Mania / Whip Mania pieces that I've already worked on for the month. So yesterday I started with my first one, which is something I haven't worked on in ages. This is good that it came out because he mostly picked pieces that I haven't worked on in ages. This is Bath Time by Basilla. And the moment I took it out, I remembered why I didn't work on it in forever. Is because it's cream, on white and cream. So yeah. I hope you be able to tell what I did, or at least where I did something. I yesterday managed to work on the leg. Sorry, there's a fly going around here and it's annoying. I worked on the leg and I actually managed to put in quite some stitching, and I think I worked on it for an hour and a half, which gave me more progress than I thought I was gonna have. And I guess it's mostly because this is done on Ada and it was like way faster to stitch on. So that's my progress for this. Oh, it's washing out again. Yes, there. That's my progress for this. Mostly whites and creams on the leg. And then today's project, which I started working on this morning, is another very old kit. This project by Jan Lin, which is called The King of Beasts. I actually really love how this looks. My one downside to this, it's absolutely gigantic. It is very, very big. And I started working on this, like I said, this morning. And this is where I am so far. I'm an hour in right now, so I'm gonna work on it for at least an hour today. I do definitely have this time today. It is, I don't know, I'm trying to look, there's no clock there. I don't know why I looked there. It is, I guess, like 1:30 right now. So I still have a lot of time to get this other hour in. And then after, I'm not sure, I might actually go back to the Bath Time, or I might stitch a block on my 12 Days of Christmas piece. I'm not sure yet. I would very, very, very much like to finish at least one of these 15 projects this month. So I might also just go back to Bath Time every day after these 2 hours, because I think realistically I could finish this if I stitched on this a little bit every day. So those are definitely my plans for the first 15 days of May. If I enjoy the way it's going, I might repeat the same sequence for the second 15 days of March, but I'm not sure yet. And I also am playing around with some ideas for June, where I might do start Frost and Pumpkin Stitchery Projects Mania. It won't be a mania, it will be a junior. But I'm toying around with the idea of then starting some of my Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery designs, depending on how much I actually get done on projects this month. So yeah, I hope this was sort of clear. I know it's been a little bit all over the place with this video, but I just wanted to get it out of my way, and hopefully the next video won't take 6 months and I will be back in a week or 2 weeks, or latest at the end of the month. Sundays should be doable to film right now. Like I said, it's my holy grail day, it's my free day off, it's my stitching day, so should be able to do a video. And I hope from the next video on, again, it's going to be a little bit more structured and you have an idea on what to expect. Sorry for all of my rambling. If you have any questions about anything, or if you're confused, please let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, I'm happy to be back, and I hope for some more finishes this year, because the 4 small sad ones that I finished, I mean, I'm happy with the fact that I finished them, but they're kind of sad and small if this is only going to be the 4 I finished this year. So yeah, without further ado, that's it. I will hopefully see you soon. Bye guys.